Welcome in the next episode of Pragmatic Talks. Today we'll try to cover the topic that everyone is speaking about right now, which is AI agents. Today, together with me is Jacob Pruszyński. Jacob is one of our senior developers, tech leads, who recently specialized especially in the AI development and AI agents development. So welcome, Jacob.
Hi, everyone.
So let's start with the beginning. Like everyone is speaking about the AI agents, AI systems, workflows with AI systems, LLMs, other stuff. But what are AI agents?
AI agents is kind of an autonomous system where you can delegate making decisions and taking actions to AI, basically. So you can react on the user requests, demands, and just leave it there.
How does it differ from the regular software?
AI agents, in simple terms, are this kind of applications or system which fully utilize AI to take actions, to make decisions, and to follow the requests of the user. And they allow us to reduce the number of human interactions in the system.
What do you mean by utilize AI? Like what they are using?
They are like traditional systems, but with different architecture. And the key components of those applications are requests to large language modules, which can, in very unique and contextual, full way, understand the requests and needs of the user.
Okay. There's a lot of buzz around the AI agents nowadays, and people are talking about it, and many people are calling things that probably are not the real AI agents by the name of the AI agents, which maybe it's not wrong, because I think that the border between the traditional workflows and AI proper AI agents is moving, is not the strict line. But from your perspective, from your experience, what is the difference between the AI agent and the workflow that is utilizing some kind of LLM or other AI?
They are quite similar in their overall picture, but there is one big difference. AI workflows, they are sequence of steps which are predefined, and they cannot change the flow.
And agents are
Agents, on the other hand, they have similar components like tools, like memory, and so on and so forth, but they can adapt to the current outputs and previous actions within the system.
so basically agents are making decisions on what tools to use, what, for example, website to browse through, and based on that they are making decision which path of the workflow to follow, or is it even more complex than that?
Yeah, that's one aspect. The other half is that they can react in a very predictive way to the outputs of the previous action. So, for instance, if if an error occurred, then an AI agent can react to that. So maybe tweak a little bit the parameters which was used in the previous action, and thanks to that, he can continue the process.
How those agents are interacting with the external world?
They are data oriented, so uh, everything need to be provided to them in the context. They need to understand that you have access to this kind of tools. You can act with those tools in this or that way, and basically they understand the big picture of those data, and that's something new on the market, because previously the tools and AIs were very specialized in narrow domains. Right now they can understand the broader context and human language in a way that was previously unavailable to us.
Let's talk a little bit more about this data, and also about the ability of how to train AI agent, or if the AI agents are able to learn on their own. Like, is it possible for AI agents to learn on their own on the go when they are utilizing some things, and how to train or pre-train this kind of agent with some set of data?
Sure. Basically, you can say that they learn during the process, because when they interact with the internal tools or something similar, they make conclusions and observations about the previous actions and potential demands and requests from the user. So they can make a conclusion about what they should use, how to achieve the user needs and user goals in the quickest and optimal way.
If I would like to create my own AI agent, how can I achieve it? How can I do this?
First, probably you should ask yourself if you really need an AI agent, because we should, in my opinion, apply the same rules as in general software development. So basically, we should define our objective, our problem, in a very comprehensive way. We should understand what we want to achieve, how we want to achieve, and why. That's the basic. And after that, we can start with something very, very simple, because probably in most cases, a simple automation, AI workflow are enough. Thanks to that, we have to something simpler, something cheaper, and something which will fulfill our request in a more predictable way.
And okay, let's assume that I already have some goal. I already have some comprehensive documentation of how I want to achieve this goal, how I want to, um, what I want to build. So, what tools can I use to create my own agent?
There are a few companies which are trying to fulfill that gap on the market. They create custom frameworks which are, in most cases, open source or somehow available without a charge. On the other hand, you can just create something from scratch using the most popular language like Python or TypeScript. They're great for that, and they're supported by big players in the market.
So there are either some kind of low code, no code solutions that I can use for workflows and connect with some LLMs, or I can code it on my own in Python or TypeScript.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this, about the LLMs at all. And I know that it's possible to fine tune LLMs. Uh, is it always necessary to do fine tuning, to do relearning of the LLM when, for example, I would like to create a simple chatbot that will utilize our company knowledge base to answer some of our, let's say, employees' questions or some of our clients' questions? Should I use fine tuning for that, or there are any other ways to actually teach my model to answer these kind of questions?
To answer this question truthfully, there are very few scenarios where you need to fine tune the model. In most cases, very careful and crafted prompting is more than enough to achieve very good results that fulfill more of your scenarios. Fine tuning basically is something of adjusting already pre-trained model to very, very specific cases. For instance, if you'd like to, I don't know, maybe to make your chatbot sound like Yoda, then fine tuning is something very useful for you, because you can give a few hundred examples, for instance, how to answer some questions in Yoda style. And thanks to that, it will follow this pattern along all the conversations.
Okay, so it's rather the way the LLM is answering than not the knowledge that it possesses, because knowledge could be accessed only other way.
Yeah. It boils down to modifying the way the LLM understands the context of the conversation, and based on which he generates the final answer, then finding some hidden gems in knowledge that you provided him.
Mm-hmm. I know there are quite a few ways to provide some data to the LLM, especially in the context of AI agents like RAG or simple database and long-term memory. So could you tell us a bit more about how to do this?
It's a very simple way of thinking about it, because all LLMs are pre-trained, so they have some kind of cutoff date after which the knowledge is not provided to them. And we needed, as developers or as a market at all, we needed a way to provide contextual important data to them to answer some new questions related to recent events, something like that. And that's why we figure out that we can do it by dynamically fetching some context related information from the database, from memory or something like that. And thanks to that, we can provide recent events to LLM, make use of his knowledge and understanding how to process text, and based on that, we generate something related to the actual newses.
Cool. I know that you already have few examples of AI agents. I also know that you have your own AI assistant, AI agent that is assisting you. Maybe you can show us the example of how it's used and how this kind of agents might be useful for regular people, for developers like you.
Sure. I created a simple application integrating with Slack. Basically, I don't know Python, but I create a whole application using AI just from scratch. So it's worth to try it. As you can see, the application is quite simple. It's chat. I already integrated a few tools. For instance, I can manage my personal budget. I can manage my to-do lists. I can scrap some websites and search information based on that. And upon everything on that, I can send notifications, emails, and so on and so forth. So I hope to, along the way, add more tools and more possibilities, but right now it's still limited. So let's ask him for something simple. I have a link to the recent research from Anthropic, and I don't have time right now to read it. So I will ask him to summarize it and send me this summarization to me as an email. So I send it, and here is an interesting observation because it takes some time. That's why agents are not always a good solution for all problems, because they operate in minutes, hours. So you don't really want it in a real time for the answer. And as you can see here in our blocks of the applications, the agents is now limited to only 4 steps, just for reducing the costs and potential problems with that. And as you can see, he decides based on our query, he decides that he needs to search the web. After that, he scrubbed the page. He summarized it using another tool, this time document processor. After preparing summarization, he decides to use resend, which is a great tool if you need to send an email to yourself. And after that, he sends it, and prepares the final answer. Here's the final answer here. So basically, he tells me that he summarized it and he sent it to my personal email. You can see that there is an email titled "The Ethics and Insights of CLIA."
Nice. I can imagine that people will not read articles anymore.
Everything's gonna be generated by AI, read by AI, and processed by AI. Yeah.
From one side, it's a little bit sad. From the other side, it's just, another tool that people can use or cannot.
Yeah. I have a little prediction about it, because probably after many years, we're gonna see the same trend as in food or handmade craft. So basically those stuff which are natural or crafted by hand, they are gonna be much expensive.
Yeah, they will be, because the cost of creating it will still be much higher than the automation. But yeah, I also predict it, and I'm not sure it will be in many years. I think it will be in the next couple of years, where this handmade, handcrafted things, or human-made things, or written things will be pretty valuable, but still it will be a niche. It will be only just a small number of people who actually be using it, or chasing it, and paying for it. Like, most of people will just use the all of the stuff that will be cheaper to generate, to create.
Yeah.
The world is changing. Like, this is awesome how this kind of solutions are changing the world. And a small disclaimer for our audience here, that when we are recording it, it's the middle of February, and middle of February 2025. And if you're watching it at the, let's say, end of summer 2025, probably most of the things that we are telling to you, most of the things that we are showing to you, are already outdated. And please check our channel for newer episodes where we cover this kind of topic, probably again, with fresh content, fresh news, and fresh tools that will be available, because the AI tools, AI world, AI utilization is developing so fast right now, that things that were up to date a couple of weeks ago, now they are totally outdated and irrelevant. So please stay up to date with all of the AI tools and news. And also, if you are not familiar with any AI tools, and maybe you used some AI tools like a half year ago or a year ago, they are totally different right now. Like, they are much better than they used to be. So please try to use them, and see on your own what could you use it for, and how could you use it. And most probably you will be surprised what the progress in the last couple of months those tools made. So try it on your own.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so let's back to the topic. So here we open the second example of the tool, which I think is more business oriented, not the personal one. This is the tool that we recently started using at Pragmatic Coders. That's the tool that allow us to simply add some scoring and some evaluation for the candidates who are applying for our open job position. So please tell us more.
This is basically an example how we can utilize workflows. In this particular scenario, we are watching candidates in our system called Recruity. We can collect data about job offers, their description, their requirements, and based on that, and based on the information about the candidate, his LinkedIn profile, his experience, his CV, we can decide and prepare an evaluation, which is gonna be helpful for our recruiters to make a decision about hiring or not hiring this particular candidate.
It's basically doing the same what our recruiters did some time ago. Like they were manually checking the LinkedIn, manually checking their GitHub profile, CV, other stuff.
Yeah.
Which was pretty time consuming and boring, and
Yeah.
could be automated right now.
Exactly. And as you can see on the right, here is an example of such an evaluation. So
That's you.
yeah, that's me. It's a good news. I would hire myself, probably.
Quite nice score. I wonder if the model is biased or what. No, you are just a good developer.
There are many cases to apply simple AI workflows, which are time savers for our departments. And the only problem is our imagination, because usually it's super hard to find those cases. But after some practice, it's getting easier. So
This is why I'm encouraging all of our people at Pragmatic Coders, not only software developers, but also our office administration, financial administration, HR, marketing, to try on their own, try to build something with tools like Make or N8N or other workflow management tools, and to see what's possible. And then if there is something that they see that could be automated, they could do this on this own, or they came to Jacob or someone else to ask for help, and we can do this for them. Because sometimes some technical knowledge, or very often technical knowledge, is required to connect with some other system, to utilize some tools, or to even to properly design the prompts that are used for the LLM.
Yeah.
So some technical knowledge is might be needed in many cases. So by the way, if you would like to automate some of your process, you can always reach out to us, and we can definitely help you with creating your own agents, and help you with hosting them, and securing them, and maintaining them all the time, and developing it further. And this is something that I think is very important, that whenever we build something for us at Pragmatic or for our clients, I see that we start with something like this, let's say something simple, and when it starts working, like everyone has like a million of ideas how to extend it. What next could we do? Like for example, I remember for this case, like the first idea is, whoa, it's great. So let's do the next step. Let's allow to the LLM to decide which candidate to send the invitation for an interview, like which candidate to move into the process, and then like exchange emails, answer the questions, do this kind of stuff, and then maybe even let's fill it with the data from the further steps in the process for the further interviews, and then add another scoring, another evaluation based on the feedback from the interviewers, or maybe even joined with some recording of the interviews, and combine the feedback with the recording, teach the LLM like bunch of ideas how to develop it. So I think that the future is that creating AI agents, it won't be like many other are trying to do this. Like it won't be a project that you have you're starting it and you're finishing it, and that's end, and it's just working there. I think it will be more like a products where they will be evolving all of the time, and people will be improving them, adding some more stuff to do, more tools to use, making it more and more complex. Uh, and that's bring me to the other question for you. Like, what are the limitations?
What are the limitations? That's a tricky question, but you can basically think into two categories. The one related to the data, because as we mentioned, the context window, so the amount of the information that you can load and keep the focus of the LLM on those data is limited, and that's one thing. On the other hand, the cost related to computation, to maintaining infrastructure, and so on and so forth, that's the big factor in the development of AI.
And by the cost infrastructure, we mean cost of the SAS, like software as a service that you are using, or mainly the infrastructure as a hardware or cloud?
Mainly our infrastructure.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. The questions that I often hear from our clients is that if the data that are used by this kind of agents, are those data secured? Could it be done in a way that the data will be secured? The agent will not send the data to, let's say, OpenAI or Google or some other huge corporates, Microsoft.
Here comes the good ethic of being a developer, because basically we should be aware how our data are processed on each step and how they are used by LLM. So basically, if we have some kind of data which are very private, then probably we should hire some kind of local LLM where we are sure that the requests are processed locally on our machine or our server. And the other approach limits to just sending only the necessary data, not all data. We shouldn't send, I don't know, all or financial reports, but maybe we should send only some tables which include the data which are necessary to follow the process further.
Yeah, and I also think that hosting your own model might be cheaper than actually paying for tokens in OpenAI or somewhere else. And by hosting your own model, I think we mean both the same, like for example, using LLM from Meta or using R1 from DeepSeek and deploying this kind of model on your own server.
It's great, for instance, also for cases like working offline, because a lot of software development right now is augmented by AI, and not always you gonna have access to great connectivity. And in those scenarios, if you have good machines, something that you can start around with Olama, then great. You can work whenever you want.
One more thing that is worth to mention is that AI agents can utilize various models, and you can always choose which model is the best for the task, for the specific task that you want to perform. And also you can also make it cheaper, but by actually choosing the models that are cheaper than the most expensive one, like O1 or other reasoning models right now. Okay, let's talk about the okay, we already know what the agents are. We know what they could do. What do you think? Like, will agents change the landscape of the job market right now? Do you think that the agents will replace some kind of jobs, some kind of people?
They will probably transform the markets, because as you can notice, everything is already somehow marked and touched by AI. So if you have enough skills and courage to explore this area, then for sure your skills gonna grow exponentially using AI in clever and creative way. So that's one case. On the other hand, they can really bring peace and joy during some kind of task, because they can delegate and fully solve some repetitive tasks, and it's awesome. If you don't wanna write a tiring email, and you can just generate it, pinpoint some important information that you would like to include in such information, and
When someone is bringing the example of writing a boring email, I always think that at the other side there is someone who need to read this boring email.
yeah.
And most probably that person also used some kind of AI to summarize it, like, as you just showed it to us. So I wonder when we will get to the point that we will finally realize that the communication is not about sending boring emails, but rather, if we really need to communicate with others, we simply need to talk to them and just leave the emails for AI.
Yeah,
And
totally agree.
so regarding this kind of replacing some kind of boring tasks, boring jobs, do you think that there are any specific sectors, job sectors that will, let's say, benefit the most from the AI agents, or actually the jobs that will be lost because of the AI agents and automations?
I truly believe that each job can be somehow augmented by AI, and thanks to that, the productivity, effectiveness of such posts may be exponentially increased. So as long as we want to learn and look for scenarios where we can apply AI and somehow delegate those repetitive tasks or tasks which are not somehow pleasant for us, then nothing will change in this matter.
If you could give an advice to someone who is facing this kind of AI is everywhere, AI will gonna replace my job position, etc. So if you could give an advice how people can adapt to this, call it revolution, because it's, in my opinion, is the next revolution. Like after technological revolution, information revolution, this is the another revolution that we are facing right now. How can people adapt to it? And what's, I think it's more important, that the previous revolutions was taking a lot of time, and this revolution is moving so fast that I'm pretty sure that most of the people didn't even notice it yet, that things are already changed a lot. So how could people who will at some point notice, oh my God, the world changed, how they could adapt?
They should explore. That's something crucial, because playing with that, just testing for fun for something super stupid. I don't know. Here is my shopping list, generate a list of recipes for this week or something like that. It shows potential and some conclusions and observations about AI. And most above all, it brings some kind of aspiration to explore it farther and farther and farther. So from my point of view, we should really explore this matter in every possible way, because not everything that is given on a plate by some kind of expert is going to apply in our case.
Okay, let's try to dive into the future. What do you think? How this area of AI agents will develop in the next couple of? I would like to ask you a couple of years, but that would be too hard to answer. So maybe in the next couple of months.
I would say that the current trend that AI augment, that is an augmented part of our reality. So it increases our productivity. We can delegate some kind of task or make those tasks quicker and in a more effective way. This trend is gonna keep up. On the other hand, probably a lot of AI agents is gonna be created, but from my perspective, they are gonna work behind the curtains. So they are gonna be something that is not really visible for the end user, and they rather gonna take actions and operate on data on the back office or something similar. And based on that, we're gonna get results after 2 hours of some kind of research that was conducted on our request.
Mhm. And last but not least, from your perspective as a developer, what do you think will happen with the developer's role in the next months or years? Because from what I observe is that creating this kind of workflows, creating this kind of AI agents is actually pretty fast. And by that, I mean that creating an agent like the one for Recruity took like a couple of days of one person, which we're creating such a system by simply coding it, coding some rules, automating things, connecting things together would also probably take weeks, if not months. So how do you think the work of software developers will change, and what software developers need to do to actually adapt to these changes?
I believe that we should be more open-minded for no-code, low-code solutions because they are great for quick proof of concepts, and we shouldn't avoid them, and think more in categories of delegating, in categories of creating and preparing and transforming data for the AI, and be some kind of orchestrator which delegates tasks to various agents or AI assistants, more than programmers which type letters by letters and create functions.
Okay, so I think that's it. That's all that I wanted to cover today with you. I think that we'll back to this topic in a couple of weeks or months when we will also make some progress with our discoveries and the utilization of AI tools. Also, what we will share with our audience on what we learned, what we are learning. But for you, if you have any questions about AI agents, or you have some ideas how AI agents could help you in your day-to-day work or day-to-day life, and you would like to discuss it with someone who has some knowledge and experience, do not hesitate to contact us. And also, please let us know in the comment if there are any other topics around AI and agents that you would like us to cover in the next episodes of Pragmatic Talks. So thank you, Jacob, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Thanks.